As the population ages, more caregiving is being provided by people who aren't healthcare professionals. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there are 40.4 million unpaid caregivers of adults age 65 and older in the United States. 9 out of 10 of those caregivers are helping an aging relative, like a parent. This means caregivers are working to balance their own lives with the ongoing needs of their aging loved ones. And these heavy expectations can result in stress, burnout, and emotional distress. Joining me now to discuss this is Dr. Christine Caulfield, the CEO of LSF Health Systems. You know, we've talked about this quite a bit on the morning show. This is becoming a very common issue for a lot of people.
It really is. It's a hidden epidemic, and it's only going to get worse.
So tell me a little bit more about caregiver stress.
Caregiver stress is a real phenomena, and frankly, the majority of caregivers would classify or qualify as being clinically depressed. There's a lot of burnout issues involved with caregiver stress, and signs that you'd want to look for are depressed mood, lack of interest in formerly, pleasurable activities, withdrawal from friends. It's just can be quite overwhelming.
Because a lot of these caregivers are working 40-hour-a-week jobs on top of all this.
That's right. And a lot of the caregivers are what we call the sandwich generation.
Yes.
Not only are they caregiving for their elder loved one, but they also have children at home that they're caring for as well.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about caregiver burnout and how we can alleviate some of this stress.
Yes. For most caregivers that are assigned this task, if you will, they tend to be very giving and find it hard to receive help. But it's really critical for caregivers to accept help when it's offered. If someone offers to bring you a casserole or pick up a prescription, accept it.
Say yes.
Say yes. Get support for yourself. Many of our caregivers come to LSF Health Systems for additional support as they're going through this arduous process. And seek respite for your loved one. There are senior centers that you can bring your loved one to, give them a break and increase their social activity, as well as giving you a break and so that you can tend to your needs.
You also can set some very realistic goals to help you get through this.
Absolutely. You might have a to-do list of 20 items.
Yeah,
let's
that's not
pare
going to
that
happen.
down and be realistic. Exactly.
All right. So another thing we want to talk about is that, elder abuse is something that caregivers should look into. Can you tell us some of the signs that you need to look for?
Most definitely. Any physical abuse, which would result in wounds, bruises. If you notice your loved one, if you're caregiving from afar and you have some help in the home, you really need to make sure that that caregiver is not physically abusing your loved one. Bed sores, neglect is another thing that we want to be very mindful of. And also emotional reactions from your loved one. Fearfulness, nervousness, anxiety when that caregiver enters the room. You want to be mindful of that and really get attention.
And another thing too, like we have baby cams.
Yes.
Granny cams are another good way to make sure that everything is going the way it's supposed to when you're not there.
Excellent opportunity for us to install those and ensure that we can check in if we're long distance caregiving and make sure that our loved one is being properly cared for.
Thank you so much for coming in to talk about this. We truly appreciate it. And let me tell you a little bit more about LSF Health Systems. They work with several partner organizations and can provide help for caregivers who are facing a situation like this. So if you or someone you know has concerns and you need help, you can call the crisis line at any time, 1-877-229-9098, or visit them online at lsfnet.org. We'll post that information on our website too in case you missed it, along with this interview.